going to be kind of a little bit of a loud session. We've got a tower fan over here. It's in the 90s outside. And the garage isn't too bad. It's probably 15 degrees. It's probably 82 or something like that. It's not too bad. Fans blowing on me, which we'll need that for the airbrushing that we're going to do. But before we get into the airbrushing, we need to do some cleanup. And the cleanup involves the stuff that we got in the mail yesterday. Cleanup and repair, actually. And that is these buildings from Pablo's. So we're going to clean these up and we're going to prime them black. So we've got some cleanup to do. We've got some openings to punch out. For example, this one here, it has this doorway, this window that's closed, and you can tell the back here has the same one here too. So we're going to punch that out and then clean these up, and then we're going to prime them. That's what the plan is. And yes, it's been, I don't know, a month, and I'm still drinking coffee from time to time. Brazilian walking death, that's what we're going to call this. Every time you drink something cold, it happens. MP Model Plastic. Captain Portugal, welcome. Okay, so we're going to punch these out. And I don't know if you guys saw that video, but I was a little disappointed that those items came in broken. Ready to put this away. Well, we're going to go ahead and walk on over here. This seemed to work actually pretty well to soften this. Let's see if we can do this in a way this thing doesn't fall apart. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna take that hammer or something. No, it was here yesterday. Who's been fucking around in here? No. Oh, is it underneath this? Okay. What we're using, a screwdriver for this? Alright, so this thing is sealed up. We're in. Go to the garage. Go to the. Okay, it's not about quiet. You're on candid camera. Okay, that's all we're gonna take off. What's that? All right. Okay, let's see. It should be enough of this now. I should be able to carve this stuff off. How thick is this? Oh, it's pretty thick. Oh, it's pretty thick. Okay, we'll just... There's no point in this thing being sealed up. It's not like there's a door there or anything. They don't really have much flash on these things at all. Let's get the super readers on. Today I was at work. I've got the weakest powered.
There?
Sure. And the camera's facing down, so nobody gets to see me.
Oh.
They here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You guys gonna come out here or not?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I don't know what the hell I was saying. Oh, I was at work. I felt like I had the weakest power readers at all times. Whatever the heck these things are. Got to put on readers to see what they are. I think they're 125, 1.25, and I'm at work saying I got to go up on a higher prescription. I was having trouble seeing things. Yeah, like this one's covered too. This little opening that's right here, it's also covered. So we're going to pop that one out as well. Is this indented? I think I should be able to put it like this. I normally use a Dremel, but you're not going to be able to see what's going on. But you got to hit it from this direction. But I don't want all this dust going airborne. It'd be different if it was a doorway or something else. And I'm running the risk of maybe cracking this, but hell, it was cracked when I got it. And shipping, so. There we go. There we go, we broke it. All right, well, that's not gonna work. Just something else to super fucking glue. Okay, well, it was kind of close to the edge. Hey, at least I broke something instead of somebody else breaking it for me. The Postal Service breaking it for me, playing hacky sack with it. All right, well, let's see if we can carve this out the best we can. I really don't want to bring the Dremel out here. Get all this stuff airborne. Well, I got to get that thing punched out. Now maybe now we can get to this. Yeah, it's a lot easier to get to now. I did bring the super glue out here because I got to repair the other one. So let's see where. Okay, some of it still needs to be taken off here. Okay, so all of this needs to come off. Let me get a. I don't have any of this stuff organized. Read the other readers. I don't have any of this stuff organized. It's one of those things. Hey, can I get one of those toolboxes? Yeah, I just haven't gotten around to doing it. We're still kind of half-assing it in. I saw this thing down here. This might work. Woo, head rush. Well, I have a pair of snips that are older than I am. Alright, maybe we can get it with these two things. If not, we'll just fuck it up more. Hey, I bought it. I can do whatever the hell I want with it now. That's how it works. All right, now. That part's good. Now we'll come into this side and clean this up. Now the hardest part about this is this thing wants to unscrew in the middle of this process. See if we got enough of this off. Well, here's the bottom part. All right, I'm gonna leave it as is. That could be just rubble or something like that. And we're gonna finish cleaning this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and epoxy this one together. I mean, not epoxy it, I'm gonna super glue it. I did epoxy the other day, although I know that the fit on it is really good. It got a little goopier than I would have liked. Okay, so I think in the process of putting this back together, if we put that like that, and then, yeah, let's see how we do with it. Let's see how we get on with the super glue. I brought them all out here, as I know one of these is new, and the other ones I need to throw in the garbage can. Let's check for fit on this. Okay, this whole area is going to be. Is this one of the old ones? Bye bye. We're going to keep it towards the middle. So the stuff doesn't spooge out. Is that a real word? It is now. It is now, pal. And I don't know if I'm going to be successful with this because, honestly, I don't use super glue for much. Yeah, it's going to be 2 pours. Now, we'll give this a shot, too. I'm going to hold this for a little bit and see if we have any success with this. Anyhow, I wasn't expecting these kind of challenges here at home. Shit, this might actually work. Held together. Let's get this the hell out of here and leave it alone. No. Cool. All right. Yeah, this is... We're going to do the easy stuff first. We're going to paint the easy things first. This one's got 2 openings, 2 windows to knock out. Let's try doing it like this and see if this helps. There's this, and where is the other thing? Let's chisel through the middle. Okay, this is thin. Noble Shield, welcome. I'd say welcome back, but I don't know that you've been on here, but you might be one of my viewers that has different personas. I got a couple of guys that, I think 2 that, hey, welcome for the first time. I'm like, oh no, I'm so-and-so. This is my other account that I have on something or another. I'm like, well, okay. Welcome nonetheless. I'm going to do this stuff anyway, so I might as well hang out with you guys. You know? It's boring to do this alone. You guys might bring something up that is worth commenting on. We're going to work on terrain for the foreseeable future. Like I said on the other morning, my goal is, I'm not my mission statement. I hate that. My goal, maybe I can switch. Let me switch the bottom of this and see if this is what the problem is. It keeps unscrewing on me. It's not like dangerously unscrewing, but it's just annoying. Okay, this seems like a better fit. This is a pro. They're both pro edges. Okay. There we go. See if I can avoid impaling myself. Terrain is good. My local store is stocking bolt action finally, so I can convince some locals to do something other than Warhammer. Not the best World War II game, but good gateway drug. What part of the world do you live in, man? I'm pretty sure bolt action was created to capture those. That's Warlord, right? I think Warlord stuff really was kind of a way to get Games Workshop people into doing historical. You know, Flames of War, I don't know anything about bolt action, other than somebody was telling me that the armor rules were a bit generic, so they're not for me to do. You know, I don't play Flames of War, but I think their Flames of War website's excellent. I mean, there's a lot of like real information on there, not necessarily game-specific stuff. So, thing about my scale is if I find something in it, I can usually get a good deal because nobody plays the scale anymore. And you know, I started collecting it when it was what people were doing, and I'm not going to start over. If I had to start over, I'd do 15s. If somebody said you cannot do 20 millimeter, stop being an old fart, don't do 20 millimeter, I would do 15s. 28s, I'm just not a 28 millimeter guy. I never have been. It's not even an expense thing. When I started gaming World War II stuff, nobody made 28 millimeter. Very few people made 28 millimeter. When they did, they were like really poor choices for things. So it was like never really an option. Now you guys have tons of options in 28 millimeter. I'd say there's probably more 28 millimeter than anything else, or at least as much as 15s. So it's definitely a popular scale. Yeah, get those guys away from Warhammer. Get the good people away from Warhammer. I've never played it. The closest thing I've played to Warhammer is BattleTech. I know that's not very close, but that's the best I could do. I never played Warhammer. Okay, these are all good. These are good. That's good. Doorway could use some improvement. This little town's gonna look awesome. I have a lot of fucking confidence in myself now. After the way that last one turned out, which I knew I was gonna be all happy with it, but not like as good as it. It was really the destroyed part that I was worried about. You know, you look at something like this and you're like, that's going to be really hard to make it look destroyed and believable. You know, you got some rubble piles here, and you're going to have some scattered terrain of rubble piles. You know, but that'll come afterwards. But I'm like, man, I don't know if it looks very believable. And then I did it, and I'm like, oh yeah. You know, and now it's better because if it's something new. Is undamaged, I feel like it almost has to be decorated inside. Like you gotta have maybe paintings, or like maybe a table with some chairs, or something like that. Like I got that cafe that's coming. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm sure I'll make the right decision when it comes down to it. But this, yeah, they just took everything out and it burned in the fucking fire. The firestorm that fell on this, taking some HE rounds. So we're going to use these hovels buildings. I'm probably not going to get any more hovels buildings, but they don't make anything else, but this will be the start or the core of the town or towns, and we're going to build from there. So that one building only took 2 painting sessions to do. So maybe 4 hours, something like that. That wasn't too bad. That's definitely manageable. Wife finds this stuff more exciting than figures. Not that I do it for her, but it's always good to have cheerleaders. Okay. This thing's complete now, too. All right. Zephyr Hills. Okay, well, you're right around the corner, man. It's hot as shit there, too. Warlord, okay? Basically run by Games Workshop people, so it makes sense. The chainmail was kind of Warhammer-like. Chainmail was like D&D, except without all the role-playing crap, right? Which, as much as I can handle the saying things in character, and hello, Kevin, by the way. But I don't want to, like actively role play shit. That's a little too weird. Okay. The factory's next. This may be the next one I do because it's literally all brick. And it has a nameplate. So I'm probably going to make a nameplate that I can switch out. Yes, I'm not anal retentive. I can use the, what do you call that? I call it stickum, but it's the blue tack. That's not blue. In this case, it's white tack. And I could just, make it on there. So if it's French, it's one thing. If it's, something else, I don't know. I'm not that excited about doing built-up areas in Russia. It's a little too Stalingrad-y, but. Noble Shield, are you in, did you go to the con in Orlando? A couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Where are we? I guess it's going on a month ago. Or Kissimmee, really. Where we did not have a fire alarm go off in the middle of the night and flood the 6th floor of the hotel. It's pretty good. Top floors, not bad. This is not bad. It's not bad. I always wanted to play a miniatures type game from Keep of the Borderlands. Of course, I haven't played Keep on the Borderlands since I was 14. But I don't mind the role playing thing, but I want to role play with miniatures. And there's this one guy that I know at the hobby store where I used to play at. And you have this role-playing game. Kevin might know what this is because it's old school. I mean, it's as old. It's almost as old as I am. It's made by Frank Chadwick of all people. It's this game called On Guard. And it's basically a character generation game set in the Three Musketeers period, early 1600s in France. And you basically play a character, and you have to try to, you do actions that involve trying to promote yourself so that you can climb up the social ladder, so to speak. And the guy who ran this game, I mean, I'm like 16, 17 years old at the time. The guy that ran this game, I remember was a really good painter at the time. I don't know if he, by today's standards, he would be, but he had a bunch of miniatures. So you're doing duels and stuff like that, you get the figures out and he'd bring out some, I think he had a dry erase board, but he had like real figures, 28 millimeter. I guess those were probably 25. I'm not sure who they were made by. Ralph Harthel, or maybe Redoubt, or somebody like that. But Yeah, because Ralph Walther, remember, they had 25 millimeter figures that were historical. And he had all the figures painted up for the Three Musketeers, the Cardinals Guard, and all that kind of stuff. And that was fun. That guy disappeared off the face of the earth. He's one of those guys, I think, that got a job and was like, I don't game anymore. Which I guess you have a right to do, but I gotta do this shit or I'm gonna be on the news. Whatever that means. No, this is therapy, man. This keeps you from being an alcoholic. No? Unless, this frustrates you out, which it doesn't for me. Everything works out here. Everything works out. Okay, this one's got, even when they send me stuff that breaks in transit, it all works out. All right, let's see if there's something we got to knock out. We got one window here that's closed for whatever reason. Let's see if we can't knock that open. Oh, that one's easy. Oh, shut your mouth until you won the race. Yeah. And the piece breaks. Well, we can get to it now. Okay. It's easy, break. Bastard. All right. Still gonna get bumpy here. Yeah, we broke it again. But I gotta glue it anyways. Fuck it, let's glue all of it. I don't want the door closed or the window closed. It doesn't make any sense. All right. This is the center part here. It fits like so. Okay, cool. And then this part goes underneath here. Oh, excuse me. And we almost got it cleaned out. All right, so this part needs to come out. Sadly, no, keep missing the cons. They keep lining up when I can't take off work or my wife is sick. Phoenix Fan Fusion is this weekend. Is that a comic book thing? Why can't we take off when we need to? What's the problem? I have problems taking off also. I have problems. I got to do all the work in advance. I got to pin people down to what they want. Then not change your mind, wait till the last minute, do everything, and come back and clean up the fucking mess that happened. Yeah, you get punished for fucking taking vacation. I didn't take all the vacation last year. It just can't be done. I got no backup plans. We could use a worldwide recession of unusual size. Make things a lot fucking cheaper for us along the way. Okay. So we're going to... This thing actually did okay with super glue. I'm not a fan of super glue. This is the thick stuff. I'll leave for lunch and things are fucked up when I come back from lunch. And that's just lunch. Used to be called Phoenix Comic Con until California Con complained name was similar to theirs. So if they don't like it, they can go back to California. Bunch of complainers. Land of fruits and nuts. My dad, when he came to this country in 1960, one of the first places he lived, actually where he was able to find employment, was in California. And he couldn't stop talking about how good California was. California this and California that. Yeah, in 1962, you know, when everything was brand freaking new there. This is the promised land. I still wouldn't want to live there just for the earthquakes. I don't do well with earthquakes. The idea of falling into a hole or or whatever you're living in basically burying you alive. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. By others. Somebody can do that. But yeah, he couldn't stop talking about California this, California that. So like 1987, we take a family trip to California, and everything went sideways. Everything went sideways on that trip. I think the only thing that went right is we ended up going to, you know, we'd go to a place and it was closed, and we'd go somewhere else and that was closed too, and you know there weren't any signs anywhere. You couldn't tell where you could eat because you know wouldn't want to ruin the environment by putting billboards. I mean, we don't want to turn it into Gatlinburg, but you know you got to advertise your businesses. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Gatlinburg's a shit show of commercialization, bad commercialization. I'm starting to think this is the new one. My dad stopped talking about California after that. Our old house, the house I lived in a couple months ago for 20 years, was bought by somebody that came from California. You know, they had a bunch of cash on hand, which you know you can only have if you sold something over there that cost a fortune. Let's put some pressure on this. When is the next con? Is that Huracan? I can never remember which one takes place when. Well, think of it as the same con, because they are. It's just the same con twice a year. Because they're held in the same place, the same people go to them. One is the last weekend in April, and the other one is the last weekend in September. It's the same con. You know, I think of them as the same one. I haven't missed one of our local ones except that one year they didn't have them, and the other year where they guilted people into, you better wear a mask if you have. And I'm like, I'm not wearing a mask in gaming. I don't need to show my ass, but you know, I game and interact with people face to face. If I can't do that, well, I'll just stay home. I'll hang out with you guys. Hey, Marcus. Nice new buildings, old buildings that came to be damaged. Oh well. And then I broke some of them too. Ah! Fuck you. Oh, shit. Yeah, we don't want one window blocked. That doesn't make any sense. Now there's some cool stuff in here. I got to be careful I don't put any lateral pressure on this wall. It's still kind of drying. But there's a little hidey hole there. So I'm probably going to put a little ladder that goes to the bottom level. Now, this is going to be on a base, not too much thicker than, say, a clipboard, okay? Maybe the thickness of a clipboard. And we're going to have like a little sidewalk and everything on there. And then there'll be an outline on here. And when they're fighting inside on this bottom level, we'll just take this off. There'll be, a floor plan on there. They won't have this on top of them. But yeah, I mean, here's another ladder spot there, and a breach in that wall. Almost looks like a round went through this window and bam, blammo. Okay, this one's done. Move this off to the side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Uno más. This is the one that's super damaged. This one's super damaged. We got some roof tiles here. This small little level. Tell me there's nothing to pop open. There isn't. Thank you. We didn't need that, too. All right, let's clean these openings up. We'll put this thing together as best we can, and then a priming we will go. My wife has some friends, mother and the daughter, visiting, so we caught on earlier. That's who's in the rest of the house. I got some super glue on my finger. What the hell is the debonder for super glue? I feel like I should know that. No, I don't use it enough. Is it isopropyl alcohol? Is that what it is? I don't know. Okay. So the problems are on the roof. So we've got this one piece that is missing some of it here. And I don't really know how critical that is. I don't know how critical that is because there's not really a way to get up there anyways. So this is the intermediate level here. And the rest of the parts got this big ass chunk. I think I'm going to have to use the phone to go to the website, see if there's enough of this showing. Let's move this off the side. We know where this goes to. Let's see if I don't mess up this feed. Be sealed up. So that tells me is this piece goes here like that, and it does. Okay? Well, with that piece going here like that, then this one, like dinosaur bones together. No wonder it's so hot in here. I'm basically playing our archaeologist. Or, I almost said Palestinian. No, what is it called? Paleontologist. Okay, and this one, well, I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece in. We'll figure this shit out. Put the dinosaur bones in the wrong place. Tix Kazala video is out. Yet another crazy battle. It's not as crazy as Operation Crusader. And Operation Crusader is just massive. What's that material called? That styrofoam sandwich between cardboard? What's that material called? The styrofoam. It's called. Shit. I don't know. I know what you're talking about. It's cool material, but it could get squashed and damaged. Something board. Foam board? Foam core? Foam core, I think is what it's called. Foam core. Let's put the super readers on. ¿Dónde está? There they are. Foam core. Kevin, you're originally from Michigan, aren't you? So what's the thing you dislike the most about Arizona? But maybe you don't want to tell me what it is. All right, what do we have left? We have this piece. That's like that. All right, let's glue that in. And this is the gap filling stuff, supposedly. I just don't like super glue because like it doesn't attach, and then you want to move it, and then it's glued down. It's like asshole, you know. Okay, working our way around. You like the politics? People seem to think we're a bunch of rebels or something. I don't. But then I live in a place where people think we're a bunch of rebels either. We just don't like being told what to do, especially by people that can't even use the money they collect to fix the roads. I don't need any laws to behave, so I really don't want people telling me what to do. They can go fly a kite up their ass sideways with barbed twine. Where have I heard that before? Archie, this is a break. I don't know what the heck broke here. I don't know what the heck broke. This is kind of fascinating. This is broken up here too. Okay, there's roof tiles like that. So this connects like this. Yep. It's not really needed. I'm going to try to glue it on there. If it doesn't stay on there, then we'll forego it. I don't like the politics anywhere. Let's see if this bastard stays on here, or we will just forego it. We've always had immigration problems. Now everyone knows what we're doing. I think the biggest problem with immigration, short of people coming in here that could be, oh, now what? Keep coming in here. I'm going to show you on camera.
Cupcakes.
It's not that kind of channel.
Cupcakes.
Everything good?
Everything's great.
Okay.
The pizza was unreal.
Was what?
It was amazing. You would have loved it. There's still some.
Unlikely.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you.
Let's see if this, man, it kind of did glue together. Wow, I'm honestly pretty surprised. Now, the question is how's the fit and finish on this? Is it? That's okay. I think I'm going to glue it in from the other side, reinforce it. Like I said, if that thing breaks off, it's not that big of a deal. I don't want to use epoxy because it's just too goopy. And I don't have a handy right here. It's the old super glue. Go away. Bugger off. Anyways, I was saying the biggest problem with immigration is if you think these people are coming in and getting paid under the table. Well, the way you fix that is you do away with freaking income tax. And you go to where everybody's got to pay sales tax on it. So you have no income tax. You get paid what you get paid. And then, you might pay 35% sales tax. So unless people that shouldn't be here are buying their bread under the table, everybody's paying their fair share, right? But then you wouldn't have you'd get rid of a department in the government, and government doesn't like to get rid of departments. Well, I got 2 pieces left, and that's all we have, and that's all that was in here. And we got like a burnt looking rafter or something in here. This is a damaged thing. This will look fine when we got it put together. I just don't see anything that this could even go with. There's a notch there. Doesn't match that notch. Does this notch match? There it is. There it is. All right, well, I'll glue that together because it'll help kind of hold all this together to some degree. All right, so we're going to go across here and across there. Got it. If there's one piece that could stand to be epoxy, it'd be this one. Right now, they're getting everything for free. Well, maybe not all of them, but that's the problem that most people have with immigration is they just, gotta follow the system. I don't want the stuff the government gives me for free. Oh, did we just solve the puzzle? Yep. I think we can make this work. Persistence is the key to victory. If you give up, you're never going to win. Of course, there is a time to cut and run. All right, this is the part where I say, fuck you, United States Postal Service, we fixed it. I know, then somebody that works for the post office is going to say it's not their fault, it's Noble Knight for not using the right packaging. Well, yeah, they should have, there wasn't enough below it that it just rattled and beat itself. But hey, it's all good. I'll buy from them again. I don't need them to give me any money or anything. I don't give a shit about that. Not even worth emailing them. I've dealt with them several times, and honestly, they've done me right. So, I'm offended that they didn't package it correctly. Whatever. If it wasn't usable, it'd be one thing. Okay, if it'd be like, okay, this is a brand new building and now it's fucked. Like, this is a damaged building. We can make this work. Now the bad thing is this stuff is pretty heavy. So if this were, say we're playing and it hits the ground, it's over. It's curtains. This thing's decimated. So here's the roof that goes on here. Looks significantly different here, doesn't it? The only problem is you can see that this is kind of a sloppy fit. It's not bad finish there, but if you look over here, this wall overhangs the roof, and silly things like that. But hey, it's not a architectural. There's no architectural magnificence to this. That's today's term. Architectural magnificence. All right. Now, we're going to prime them in the opposite order. Hopefully they're dried enough for this. Are those to scale to 20 millimeter? Yes. The one true scale, as somebody on the miniatures page like to call it. Not me. Of course, my favorite thing on the miniatures page was that brilliant person that came up with anything larger than 20 millimeters playing with dollies. That was hilarious. I keep looking to find out who that brilliant person is that said that. People came unglued. Like you pissed on their mother's grave or something. It's like, man, lighten up. I'm offended. What happened to, like, if you don't like what somebody says, just call them an asshole and move on. I'm offended. Get some thicker skin, pal. This is actually a pretty nice building right here. Yeah, we might do this one next. Got a little sign here. Okay. Let's move this thing off to the side. Move all our little paint thingies out of the way. Yeah, in the 80s, if somebody offended you, you go out and meet them in the parking lot, kick their ass. Now you write letters to the editor. I need to be heard. Whatever. Nobody's listening, asshole. Where's this one go to? Is it this one? Or is it this one? It's the factory, isn't it? The factory. So one of the things I made the mistake of, I didn't know one of these buildings wasn't complete. It's not a big deal. This one's actually missing a piece that I think is a wall. It comes up to here, and then there's like a ledge, so that when you go boom, 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 up these stairs, you've got somewhere to sit on here and shoot out. So I made basswood and make another level for it, because it just seems like a waste. I mean, this is a perfect sniper roost, you know. All right, so we've got our things out of the way. We got 5 buildings. We're going to prime these jokers. And then I got this thing here that I don't know what the hell to do with. I don't even know the hell this is made by, but it's obviously the wrong fucking scale. The windows aren't too bad. You know, I could keep it and the door is just a door of unusual size for 20 millimeter. So maybe I just need to put something in front of the door and then call it a day. You know? I think it's usable. Maybe. All right. Let's fire up the old Iwata. You bring shame on your family. Still haven't finished watching that Godzilla movie. Kevin, I don't think you've been on since we talked about that Godzilla. You're a Godzilla person, aren't you? I don't know why I'm thinking, but you are. And of course, we're talking about Godzilla -1. Oh yeah, this bitch is gonna go up to like 50. Only thing I don't like about this airbrush, which one, the American or the Japanese Godzilla? The one that's in, I guess it's Japanese. The Godzilla -1 that just came out last year. I like that scene for these guys that have seen it. That scene at the beginning where the fighter pilot's on there on the island, and the crew is saying, "Oh, you got to get into Zero and attack him with the 20 millimeter. The 20 millimeter cannon is in the Zero, right? Zero's got 2 20 millimeter cannons and 2 30 caliber-ish weapons." And the crew's the guy on the crew's going, "Oh, the 20 millimeter destroys everything." And I'm like, I mean, if you're a person, yeah, but there's that other scene where the heavy cruiser goes to attack them. Japanese heavy cruiser with 10 8-inch guns. So the 20 millimeter, if it didn't do anything, the 10 203 millimeters didn't do shit to them. So, yeah. More than 10-fold bigger. Only thing 20 millimeter can do really is it could hurt the top of a tank. Certain tanks in places, you know. No tank has more than like 20 millimeters of armor on the roof. It'd be even heavier than it already is. All right, let's run some more through here and make sure we are on. Actually, this is just water, right? Let's make sure we're good. only thing I don't like about this airbrush, the only thing, is that the throw, and I don't know if you can change this out. The throw is like nothing, 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 and you move it like a third of a millimeter, and too much comes out. It's like there's hardly any movement in it at all. Like you don't need to go all the way back here unless you're trying to blow all this shit out. You know, it's kind of like a pistol with a 1 pound or a half a pound pull on the trigger. All right, I need to get some hand sanitizer. I'll be right back. Hey, look, we got beer here. We got time for that. Alcohol slows you down. I got nothing against drinking. I just never drink. You know, the last thing I want when I get done with work is have my free time like disappear. So falling asleep early would do that. All right. Let's let me give this thing a good scrubbing. Where is my before we get started? Let's start on the right foot. Now, what we did the other day, we were really successful priming all this stuff. There we go. We were really successful priming. I'm going to pull this out because there's no paint in there. Normally, I don't run it through the other way, but I don't feel like disassembling the whole. Disassemble everything. So we're just going to run this so it's clean, and we're going to stop probably multiple times. And clean this thing out, even though we're almost out of Jesus juice. We're going to need to make some of that stuff this weekend. That's what the one guy on the internet called it. And this is what we want to get this stuff out of here. And just make sure that it's working okay, so we don't have a big jam that takes 20 or 30 minutes to fix. But I wish this was, if I got another airbrush, which I don't have any intention of getting right now, it'd be a 0.2. So I could do some smaller camouflage patterns. I think that's the only thing that's I'm a little disappointed in. But this thing is, you know, I've taken this thing apart. Not a severe taking apart, but routinely in it. You know, airbrushes are not too unlike pistols. You don't want one that's a pain in the ass to take apart to clean, because then you never clean it and it doesn't work right. So, all right, move this off to the side, move this off to the side. Where is this stuff right here? We're going to test it with a little bit, make sure everything's running okay. Didn't the 0 have 212.7? You may have. Had a model meeting yesterday, and one of the guys came in and did a presentation on the Sherman. And one thing, I didn't bring this up because it was his show, but one thing that people forget about the Sherman is that you got this tank that, regardless of what you think about the 75 millimeter, that it didn't penetrate enough or whatever, it was a reliable vehicle, and it had a 50 caliber as an AA mount, and it was really common for them to have them as an AA mount. So you've got a 50 caliber machine gun, 12.7, instead of a 8 millimeter machine gun, and or so, and 7.5 millimeter, 7.62, whatever it is. The German one's 7.92. So you've got an extra small cannon, rapid fire cannon that you can use to neutralize, say, folks that are in here, you know. If you've got 50 caliber, I don't know if it'll go through brick, but it can put a hurting on brick. A wooden house, yeah, you're fucked. It's going to go into the wooden house. So you basically have a weapon that can penetrate the cover that you're in. So that's pretty handy. You know, plus you can use it. I'm going to be picking at the super glue on my fingers. So that's pretty handy. Where you don't have to, you know, you can keep, maybe you keep AP, armor piercing, in the 75 millimeter, and you keep the 50 around to keep track of, knock down those soft targets, you know. And once you're sure there's no enemy vehicles, then you can put an HE round in the 75. Maybe you got somebody else on Overwatch for you, but okay, which one are we doing first? I think we're going to do this one first. All right, we're going to put a little bit of this stuff. Make sure it's running okay. Very little. We're going to test it on... Where's my testing place? What I hate about the Sherman is that people assume they're boring. So they just paint them boring. And you know, if you paint something boring... Oh, we got our jewelry on. Not that it's worth anything, but... Okay. Alright, we're good. If you make something boring, people aren't going to be interested in playing it. But I like the Shermans that I've done. Get the corners, and if there's overspray, it's going to overspray on the areas that are easy to get paint into. But make sure you get it into the strange, hard to reach places first. If you paint the easy stuff first, then you end up getting overspray on the easy stuff when you're trying to get into the corners. and it gets too thick. Or do whatever the fuck you want. It's America. And we got a breeze blowing on us, so don't be afraid that I'm going to get lung cancer from this. Besides, I got the vaccine. I should be okay. I came from using spray paint to this. This is a shitload healthier. All right, now before we get to the outside, we're going to want to hold on to it. So let me get the corners and do the top here. Now, I could probably do this without an airbrush. This just makes it a lot easier to apply the paint because this stuff is intrinsically slippery. It's pretty darn slippery. And I can get the primer to stick to it, but it's going to take multiple coats. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, for good measure, somebody took my paper towels. Do some work on my daughter's car. I do that whole ceramic polishing of the lights because they were all like dull and shit. So the paper towels ended up being over there. Wrong time of year to be doing that. Any extra work outside that you don't need to. It is just super duper hot. And let's put some Jesus juice in here. Hallelujah. Hey, I didn't name it. I would have come up with something a little bit more graphic. It's like a Huey. Okay. Now we'll put this again. Just do that instead of trying to run the whole thing, because this does get like a scum, as I like to call it. This Vallejo primer. It's almost like the cheese on a French onion soup. In Spanish, I would call it natilla. And that tends to clog up. And we'll probably have to touch this up like we did the other buildings, probably with the actual brush-on primer. But it's going to be a minimum of areas where that's going to happen. And it's going to be an area where you're going to have to brush over it, but there's also kind of like a really thin coat on there. So if you were to paint over this, the primer is going to stick really well because it already has other primer for it to adhere to. And no, I didn't wash this. I didn't jump into the bathtub with them. And this just makes this sound because it's sticky going through here. Yes? We're live. My beautiful daughter. All good?
Can they see my face?
Not if you don't turn this way.
Okay, let me get my butt then. Bye-bye, viewers.
Bye, Lena. Okay. She's the other person in the family that's artistic. She does watercolors. So she paints the opposite of what I paint. She starts with the lightest something's ever going to be and makes it darker, which is a lot more unforgiving. Got turned on by that. Somebody gave her a watercolor set at school and she just took off and ran with it. Okay. I think we're almost done with this.
Hey,
Yo.
are you free for a second?
Yeah, what you need? Okay. Let me finish this thing. Yeah. I'll be right back, folks, in a jiff. All right. So we got one building done. We'll set that off to the side. Stuff dries pretty fast. Easiest to hardest. This is all one piece. It's the next easiest. And it's got some kind of factory sign here. I'm not going to paint something on there. I can be non-committal. I might put a really thin strip of evergreen, and then put little bits of white tack on it, and then you can switch it out if I need to. If I need to make it Russian or French, which is what the default is. All right, so let's paint the interior of this area in here. Get up in the corners. Wheeze out. Yeah, we'll probably go one more time before clean out. So the coolest thing about this house, there's many things about this house that are cool, but the coolest thing is the guy that put this thing together, house only 2 years old, he designed it. I'd say he built it, but he really didn't. I don't think he did do after stuff, but he designed this house. He's a co-worker of my wife's, and it's got great lighting everywhere. Great lighting, like incredible lighting, all the place, and which is super important for me. Whereas in the other house, my main light would have been these OT lights. Here they're just auxiliary. And the one thing is if you're used to painting in really good light, you'll adjust for it. You'll adjust your painting style to it. And then you go and you show people things that you painted that's not in that ideal light, and then they're like, oh, that looks too dark. I said, no, it doesn't. The problem is your lighting here sucks. This is another building that might be the candidate for the first one. Probably not this one because I think at some point I'm going to probably build a third level, but who knows? This is all one piece. Seems like a reasonable candidate for that. I lied. We'll go one more time. We'll go one more time to see if we don't have a jam session. That one was very good. I didn't see that comment. Sorry about that. Well, I'm having trouble finishing it. Although the first thing I noticed is, had it been an American film, they wouldn't have had the balls to kill the girl. Not that I wanted her to die, but sorry, spoiler. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a Marvel movie and she'll come back to life, and nothing really mattered. Like, great, you wasted my time as a viewer. And I never really was into the superhero movies. I just watched them because at the time my daughter was into it. And we kind of watched them together. But man, nothing ever matters because it just gets undone with a time machine. I lied. We're going to keep going. I'm going to stop when I'm done with this building though, and do a rinse through here. It's a bloody cough. It won't go away. Gets exacerbated if I drink anything cold, which is a problem considering it's in the 90s outside. So I guess we'll have to cough. I'm not drinking lukewarm drinks. Well, I'm still not done with it, so we must refill. Nearly done. Okay. Second building down. All right. What's next? Probably these row houses. These are no pieces. So we're going to start at the bottom now. And I said I was going to clean this thing out, and I will do that. But we're going to run this paint out. So let's go ahead and get up in the nooks and crannies. This stuff is self-leveling. Don't buy one of those expensive $30 things at Hobby Lobby to clean your freaking airbrush into. Let's get a big jug. Nope. Arnold Palmer in my case. Man, that's just one of those hard words to say. We all have problems with some words. Arnold Palmer. And the color of paper towels with my two. White! Ooh. We got some crustacean in there. Let's take this apart, see what we got going on in here. This is just preventative maintenance. Let's take out the needle out through the front. Yeah, we got some stuff going on in there. Just a big glop of this primer stuff. I'm gonna put a little splooge of, there's that splooge word again, hand sanitizer. You guys seen my hand sanitizer video, right? Use it to clean all of your acrylic stuff, man. It works great, and it cleans your fucking hands too. 2 for the price of 1. I had to do some car paint the other day. I bought this little thing of car paint, and the thing exploded basically in my hand. And that stuff was a pain in the ass to go off. Because of course it's lacquer. Now, we got live hand sanitizer in there. We're gonna run this through. All right, now let's go ahead and give this a shake. This stuff actually lasts a long time. Even though I'm airbrushing, I'm not an airbrush guy. I'm not. I'm working on it. I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting better at it every time I do it. I can do things with a brush I'll never be able to do with an airbrush. You know, it's like 40 years of messing around with that. Now, if I completely stop brush painting, you know, by the time I'm 93, I'll break even. You guys are silent today, which that's fine. I appreciate you guys coming by, unless you're Chinese spies. In which case you can get the kite treatment. Tony's kite treatment. Interesting how I control the sploosh on the front, where there's this crack across here. It's not noticeable. But look how it's noticeable on the back. Well, let's see if I can get the lighting in there where you guys can tell. Anyways, there's a crack on there. The glue squished out through. Not a problem where it is. I think the bond in this should be just fine. Unless we drop this to the ground, and then all bets are off. We're getting ahead of ourselves. You do the interior before you do the exterior. Getting up in the corners. Reminds me of that saying, I'm gonna wipe the floor with your ass and kick it for not getting up in the corners. Well, we're getting up in the corners. Oh, excuse me. Carbonation is not your friend sometimes. So this is Vallejo primer, black primer. We're running at about 45 psi with 0.5 needle. That's the secret. Can't use the 0.35 needle. You'll be playing Gem-O-Matic all the time. But if your airbrush comes with a small needle, go buy yourself one. Go buy yourself a 0.5 needle. You don't thin this stuff. Some people claim that you can. It is a different material. It's not standard Vallejo paint. It's not standard AK paint. It is polyurethane primer, and it's not really meant to be thin. So it'll behave weird when it gets thin. And I've been pretty successful airbrushing it. Once I discovered I needed to buy a bigger needle. I really like about this stuff is I've got two bottles of it. I got one inside, I got one out here. So I probably should get another one pretty soon. We're going through this stuff like it's going out of style. But we are painting a lot of stuff. So we hand paint this and we airbrush it. Like I said, I probably could have airbrushed, hand painted this. It just takes me a long time to be able to finish it. You can squeeze every little bit out of here as you can. Reload. Now one thing I don't have much of a use for is a little top that comes on this to cover it. That's more steps to do. And yeah, my airbrush has a tank, but you wouldn't know as much as this thing's running. But we're also using it a lot. Is it warm? Not really. Not really. It also helps that it's right in front of the fan. So it's an air-cooled compressor. And it's just a Masters Airbrush Cool Runner. That's it. It is not a top-of-the-line airbrush, but a compressor. I don't think it needs to be. I watched several videos on me, and it kind of convinced me to, let's see if this works before I go and spend twice as much on something else. So when we're done with this house, we'll clean this thing out as well. Pull this off. Sometimes this stuff just jams. Just give it more juice and then it comes out in these huge quantities. Which aren't a big deal because, like I said, this stuff is self-leveling. The other buildings have a ton of individual, the Queen Hussars buildings have a ton of intermediate levels. Okay. So this one's done. We got one left to go. I'm sorry. We got 2 left to go. A million pardons. All right. The factory. Which, one thing I like about this factory, it's got a built-in little ladder for some clown to come up here and just be a nuisance. Oh, it wouldn't come out, it wouldn't come out. Oh shit, too much. Come on, get it all out. We're gonna clean you out. I guess nobody has complained about the sound on the compressor. That's good because there's nothing I can do about it. And it kind of has to run. Now, this compressor that I got, it came with an airbrush. It came with a master's airbrush that I literally have not taken out of the box. I wanted to use this one. I have one that's really cheap that I got tired of fighting. This thing is no fighting to clean. And I did not want to get discouraged by using a cheap airbrush. So now that we have a clue, all right, now that we've been airbrushing with this thing about a year, and we have a freaking clue, I might actually pull it out and see how it does. I was thinking, hey, I'll leave that one with one nozzle size and another one for this one, but honestly, it's so easy to change the needles and stuff. It really isn't much of a problem. If anything, I want to go to a smaller one. I want to get one that's a 0.2. I don't think this one goes down. You know, the 3.5 comes in with this one, and you can get a 0.5. But you can't get smaller than a 0.35. All right. The factory. That's a sign to refill her. Fill her up. higher your PSI is, the more it's going to be running, especially if you're using quite a bit of it. I just want lots of pressure to push this thick stuff through. Make sure there's not a broken part there. Yeah, we're gonna have to order some of that stuff soon. We've been using it for a lot of stuff. And I was probably about to give up on using this. Uh-oh, got a message. Yes, I can see that. See if let me see if, well, top chat's on there. I forgot to set it to top chat. God bless it. I'm sorry, man. It left it on top chat. And okay, let me go back and check everything. Man, I didn't. Yeah, the last one was comment about 12 millimeter. Okay, then and Kevin said Sherman was God in the. I'm gonna take some time and answer this stuff. Sherman was God in the Pacific. Yeah, no kidding. Notice the guys that do die-cast car restorations put a thinner in their paint. Your daughter is starting high school next year. Did yours just finish the first year of university? She did. She did. I know there's a ways to go, but I'm moving forward to seeing Tony's battlefield. Yep, one small thing at a time. And we thought the coolest thing about the house was the occupants. Okay. You see the Noble Knight unboxing is up. Gonna have to take a peek. Yeah, man, where you been? Noble Knight is where I always got your 15 millimeter Sarmatians from. Silence actually painting. You're actually painting myself for once. Woo! Use a big brush. Thick airbrush is mostly good for the fine glossy looks like on die-cast cars. What do you have on the little workbench? Said he was painting himself. There you go. I hate when I get paint on myself. I hate it when I super glue on me. I used to know a guy that would brag about modeling naked. Like, nope. Nope. You do not want to mess with this. You could be your own Moyle. Studio WGS, welcome. Saw the building unboxing. Besides some of them breaking, they look really cool. Yeah, I fixed them all. We're good now. Yep. Wasn't reading, too busy painting. I'm doing some 15 millimeter Steel Legion that you printed off. I knew somebody was going to say painting something about yourself. There you go. Took something over his chat. Yep. We called back in Michigan. The bugs in the night kind of sound like the compressor. Ooh. Okay. I need a producer that reminds me, hey, when it goes, there's two chats, okay? There's live chat and then there's top chat. And for whatever reason, hobby room, this is the garage. This is the garage of unusual size. You could fit a small plane in here. It is just freaking tall as shit. But the lighting here is incredible. Okay? It has these, if you guys don't have these in your house, okay, you should get them. They're basically these LED, I don't know if you could tell because of the glare, but they almost like they spread out, okay? You can adjust all those, and there's 6 of them, and there's 2 of them in here, and there's actually even more in the roof to put more. I'm gonna just brighten the hell out of this thing, and they're not really using up anything. It came like this. So the other house, my primary light source was this hot light, and now it is just auxiliary. Because everywhere in this house, this guy put LEDs everywhere, and it has superb freaking lighting. This is the This garage is insulated, and you can tell it's still warm in here, but it's still not as hot as Mitch's house. So, yeah, the lighting here is just superb. Kind of messy. We got stuff in the middle of the garage, but I don't know. We're probably not going to mess with that until it gets cooler. It was in the 90s today. That's Fahrenheit. You guys are on your own. Malaysia, only 1% of the population have garages. You're not that 1%. Well, here in America, lots of people have basements. I don't know what one is. I've never had a house that has a basement. Never. That's one of them Yankee houses. I ain't got none of them Yankee houses around here. Sorry about the chat. I really should write myself. Okay, check this thing. Especially if I had to like struggle with getting something to work before I went online, which is what ended up happening was that my phone got set to always be in portrait mode, and I didn't know that. So when I went to start the feed, it wouldn't go horizontal. It was like freaking out on me. So I had to restart the phone. I eventually figured it out, but I'm not a tech guy. Never will be. I just hate when something works one time and then the next time you want to use it, it doesn't work again. That's the kind of stuff that makes me want to commit a hate crime. Like, it worked last time, what's going on? Like, you notice I didn't bring my computer out here. I'm going to let that thing stay dormant for a little while. Because I don't have time. I have such limited time that I want to paint this. I want to hang out with you guys. And I can't really spend an hour and a half with it before and not working. So studio, you had a video the other day that I started to watch and then I fell asleep. Sorry, your videos are relaxing. I didn't mean it was boring. I mean, you know, we've talked about this. You have a good speaking voice. I find it very relaxing. About War Games Illustrated, right? So what's the three magazines? War Games Illustrated, I think, is the original one that I ever saw. And it looks completely different than it used to before. It actually looks pretty good. There's another one, I think it's called Miniature War Games. Okay, so War Games Illustrated, Miniature War Games, and War Games Soldier and Strategy. That's the three I can think of. How would you rank them as far as quality? I really like War Games Soldier and Strategy, and I really like that I can buy a digital copy of it. And then I can print off whatever the hell I want, if I want to. I suspect the other ones may have the same thing as well. And that's definitely the new kid on the block. Because the other ones, I've got some hand-me-down War Games Illustrated that are, shit, they're probably 30 years old. Ooh, Malaysia, where all the Hot Wheels come from. I don't remember if the Hot Wheels come from Malaysia, but Matchbox comes from it's Thailand and Malaysia. And one of them comes from, he didn't know. But yeah, they all come from there. So you know the other thing I found that was interesting? Cutting boards, these self-healing cutting mats. A big place where they come from is not China. It's Taiwan. Taiwan and Canada. I don't know why they decided those self-healing things. Maybe they don't want to heal people in China. Maybe that's what it is. You know? I don't mind not buying things from China. Kind of a fan, actually. What are you a fan of? Not buying things from China. Okay. Chimney Sweet Black. Well, chim chim to read you too. All right. Now, is there one left? Does this one have an intervening floor? It does. All right, let's get our... Here we go. Make sure we got a good purchase on this. It seems to be the only thing hobby-wise Malaysia is known for. Would wargaming have taken off without the British? It's totally a British thing. Or an English thing. You guys can fight over whether it's Britain or England. It's a bit like fighting over United States or America. You know, which one is it? Yucky poo poo. Blow this shit out of here. Gotta make more of this Jesus juice. Gonna have to wait till the weekend. That's a low priority item. So one thing I picked up, it's unusual to run into stores now, especially, and go, man, that's cheap, right? Not anymore. It's rare to encounter that. But I had a, damn, that's cheap moment this weekend. So I went into Hobby Lobby, and I wanted to get some smoke, because if you're paying attention, like I know Marcus is, one of the tanks in scenario is on fire. Right? So you need smoke. So I didn't want to buy cotton balls. I wanted to buy this stuff. And this is all synthetic, so we're going to airbrush some of this stuff. And no, we're not going to make an adorable axolotl. So we're going to airbrush some of this stuff as well. And yes, I may just get some tea lights so we can put them inside there. We'll see. One small step at a time. You guys are going to see some cool shit next year. We're going to. That's what my goal is. I want to put on war games that look like the stuff you see in those war game magazines. There's people that are playing those games. Why can't I be one of them? Okay, I understand. I gotta do the heavy lifting and create stuff and paint things up. You know, we got trees galore. You know, these are woodland scenic trees. We'll be fixing them up. You know, you can't just throw them on the battlefield like that and expect it to look, you know, stellar. So, that's what our plan is. So, probably not going to see any vehicles being done for a little while, unless I get really bored doing terrain. But I don't know. It's pretty empowering. Okay, as we were. Oh, it's all there. I don't know why there's wood attached to the bottom of this. And I don't think I'm going to game with that war game map that I had all the drama with. Maybe for the desert, but I don't think I'm going to use it for the temperate stuff. I've got some felt that I bought. I think I'm going to airbrush or make my own special ones because I'm going to have an 8 by 8 foot table. So I don't really want it to be made up of two pieces. You know, I want it to be all one piece. All right, what do we got left? We have this shattered building. Wow, there's nothing in there. Interesting. There's like, I think it's supposed to be like all the way through. Well, we'll paint it like this opens up into here because that's like a perfect roost for like a MG42 or a sniper or something to be out there. firing out of there. Going to half Brecky. Looking forward to seeing the finished buildings. Me too, man. Yeah, I haven't finished the Godzilla movie. I'm maybe 2/3 of the way through it. The overacting is kind of a little over the top at this point. But I thought that was hilarious. The guy was making such a big deal, like 20 millimeter destroy everything, and then like, okay, well now you have a heavy cruiser that has 8 203 millimeters, and it can't take the lizard down. Is it a lizard? Kaiju. I'll just call it a Daihatsu. Daihatsu's still in business? I remember this dabbled into bringing cars in here to the United States. I don't think they were very good. They kind of competed with Suzuki, which they kind of went by the wayside too. Suzuki, Isuzu, and Daihatsu. Those were kind of the second tier Japanese vehicles, I think. Remember those Suzuki Samurais? I've seen some old rednecks like drive those like in a mud bog or whatever. Like, you're not getting out of anything. Those things have like what, 40 horsepower or something like that? 60, something really poor. All right. This has multiple levels. So we're going to take this, or just this one little piece here. Oh, we got so much shadow. Down with the shadow. All right. This has an interior, also a sign. That'll be replaceable. I don't know what the hell these signs are. I know that one building is a cafe. I named it before I even bought it. I would have told you guys what the name of it was already, but you guys have shown no interest in it. So I'm like, well, we'll just wait on it. It's not like I'm going to change my name on what it's going to be. Although, if you look at most like French businesses, it'll say, you know, and I can't speak French, so it'll either say pastry shop or boulangerie, or, you know, is that a boulangerie? Was that like a bougie laundry? That other cafe is not going to be generic. But that one's definitely a French building, so I mean, there's no, this could be, I guess, anything. Bougie laundry. Killed me. This has this broken corner, so I better be careful where I put any pressure on this stuff. Okay, maybe we can get away with just one more refill and we're done with this. We'll probably look at them and see if there's anything to touch up. Daihatsu is still in business only in Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia. They're like, we'll be in business, but we're not going to make. Do they do the steering wheel on the correct side there in Malaysia, in Indonesia? I know Malaysia's the British way. got to be a pain. Like you're like a Japanese automaker, and like everybody wants to drive on the non-British side. Like, damn it, you want to sell these to anybody, we're gonna have to make a bunch with a steering column on the other side. Or you could sell them to the U.S. Postal Service. Although I don't think they're buying many Honda Preludes. Daihatsu's a Japanese brand I forget about. Well, we just started watching the Pacific. We finished Band of Brothers. I've, of course, seen both of them before. We just started watching the Pacific for, I think, 2 episodes in. It's alright, it's better than I remember it being. I remember after watching Masters of the Air, I'm like, Band of Brothers is the best one, then the Pacific, then Masters of the Air. See, I wonder if I'll have that same opinion when I'm done with the Pacific. I have a feeling that I will. I just didn't like how it was all focused on bombers and nothing else. So a bit one-dimensional. Good night all, except studio. Have a great day. All right, man. You too, Marcus. Man, you going to Betterly? Nah, you can do other stuff. You guys do stuff for the family. It's ridiculous that I went to New York City. A couple of years. That's not ridiculous. I went to New York City. There's more to the sentence. Went all up in the subway, around all those people, didn't get sick. Go to Orlando for a weekend, half the people got Brazilian pneumonia, or whatever the hell this shit's called. I still got this stupid fucking cough. It won't go away. Fortunately, only one day, I think it was day 2 of the cough, the Tuesday after the convention. That was the only day it really freaking hurt. Like my chest was sore every time you coughed, it was like somebody's punching in the sternum. That was the only day it was super bad. Let me go ahead and take this. I'm going to move to a different section. Actually, I can just hold it by here. Said even if we miss something, it's got at least a little bit of a dusting cover on it to let more primer adhere to it easier. So they drive on the left side of the road, so assume the steering's on the right. Yep. Probably. They still haven't found that jetliner, have they? I was reading something about that a couple of months ago, 6 months ago or something like that. And they suspected that the guy had wanted to commit suicide and take a whole airplane of people with him. I hope that's not the case. Hey, go fucking kill yourself if you want, you know? There's no reason to take other people with you. Especially people who've done nothing wrong. You want to take a bunch of people with you? Go get some convicts. And no, I have not seen Con Air. I hate flying. It's cool, but it's super surreal. I am not a fan of flying. Something funny happens on a plane, like, you know, window falls off or some shit like that, I ain't flying again. That's all it would take. I'm already on the cusp of this is, you know, controlled insanity. It wouldn't take much. I'm not a fan. But I don't get airsick either. I gotta fly in about a week. Whoops. Oh, that's why God made whiskey. Scotch, even better. Scotch is even better. Not as sweet. Settles better. But then in about 2 months, I get to go on a cruise. Then I get to make fun of everybody who gets seasick. Because that I ain't scared of. All right. What do we got? What do we got left? We have just the touching up. All right. You have anything major here? Let's do some windowsills. Come on. Uh-oh, we're bubbling up. Really? Now we're going to act up when we're done with it. Airbrushing is not a perfect science. Where's the rest of the Let me dig deeper. Yeah, got chimney sweep hands. Hand sanitizer takes that all out. That and there's a loofah in the bathroom. Thank goodness. That saved me the other day when I had that paint explosion with lacquer paint. I was trying to do some touch-up paint on my car. And I shook it and it literally exploded in my freaking hand, so to speak. And really pissed me off. Really pissed me off to make a mess where I didn't want one. I know, when would I want a mess? Well, not with paint. I'll tell you what, everything has been airbrushed. So if there's any touch-up, I could do it by hand. Let's clean this bitch out. Maybe we should go, nah, it's not worth it. Because what happens is in taking them on and off, I lose a lot of tactile ability. And the biggest problem with getting paint on your hands is you could have what I like to call live paint, and you transfer it onto something else. And the gloves would still do that. and I just lose tactileness. So I did it the first couple times. I'm like, this is a waste of my time. All right, can we see light through there? We can. Okay, we're good. Push the needle out through the front. There's that dirty splooge here in the middle. I'm going to put this stuff right here in this little tray so that can't disappear. Moisture build up there. All right, where's the hand sanitizer? All right, and so yeah, if you try washing your hands with this, you'll be here a month. And this stuff is a lot more difficult to get off your hands than regular paint. It's got polyurethane properties to it. The only bad stuff about hand sanitizer is when it was buy one get one free with my big jug, I should have bought like 10 of them. I had no idea that it would have come in this handy. And it's hard to find a grocery store, actually. I didn't feel like making a trip to a big box store just to get that. It smells good too. I should eat some of there. So what are we going to do when we get 2,000 subscribers? Of course, it could be like 5 years from now, the rate we're going. Got a little bit of a jump there. Lost some DBA folks that were only here for the DBA stuff. They left. Got some other modelers, some other folks in here. Maybe some people that are doing both. Should do something cool for 2,000 subscribers. I don't know. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. I do what I do, but if it interests you guys, that's cool. We can all hang out together. And if it doesn't, well, I'm sorry. You know. Okay, so we are going to take all of this stuff inside, and we'll pick this up another day. This is the box that actually came in. The box that broke. We'll see how durable this the super glue is. I'm not a big fan of the lack of durability that super glue seems to exhibit. Strong yet brittle. This is what we've got in here. So these we're going to do before we do all the high rises. Because the high rise buildings, the other two from Queens SRs, those definitely are primo buildings. They're definitely in large cities like Cannes or bigger. So we've got have a lot of small buildings before we have those large ones. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by, folks. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one. And about 2.5 hours. It takes some time, you know, but we had a good time doing it. I'm looking forward to taking a shower now and yeah, closing up for the evening. So thanks for stopping by, folks. We'll see you guys on the next one, and see you then. All right, bye-bye.